got another story. Not long after I'd moved into the base at Benoit, and I had like the gun pit was open. A lot of you that are listening to this would have seen a photo of me standing in the gun pit with the M60 in front of me, and that was how you stood picket. You normally would have two, one on for a start, then an extra one would go on for the second hour. You did 2 hours at a time. And then you had one fresh bloke and one tired bloke. They'd go and get the fresh bloke, etc. And through the night, then the last bloke did on his own. This story it's not funny, but it's one of those stories that I believe is worth telling. I was on the gun picket. It was in the middle of the night. I'm not sure what time now, but probably somewhere between 12 and 2 or something like that. And I was on my own, and I had a 9mm Browning automatic pistol sitting just in front of me on the sandbags beside the gun, cocked and ready in case somebody come behind me, because the gun was too heavy to lift and swing around if someone was close. I don't know what made me realise it, but I was standing there just looking at the darkness, and in that sort of situation, every little stump seems to move and every little bush seems to come alive. But you get used to that, and I was just there watching, and for some reason I felt that there was somebody very close to my left shoulder. I didn't have time to grab the pistol. I just reached with me, swung my right arm around and reached and pulled this guy into the pit, and I was choking him in the corner of the pit when I realised that I had this Captain Peck. A captain is higher rank than a lieutenant, and he had been sneaking round trying to catch people asleep on gun picket. Now I had him choked before I realised that I had one of our blokes, and I let him go, and we got out of the pit, and he was threatened me with court-martial and everything but hanging, I think. But anyway, he left. But my memory is a bit hazy on the rest of it. All I can actually remember is what I have said. But the guys told me, the other guys in the platoon told me that I had a punch-up with him and give him a pretty good yarn over after we got out of the pit. But I can only take their word for it. But I've asked a lot of different blokes over the years, and they all swear that did happen, and that they actually came and pulled us apart. Now, it could have happened because you have what they call disassociation, where you lose memory of some events like that. So it could very easily have happened, but as I say, I don't remember the actual punch-up. I remember the rest. But the guy said, it definitely happened. But I was waiting for a week or so for someone to come and take me away in handcuffs, And I never heard any more about it from my section commander to my corporal to the sergeant, our platoon commander, lieutenant. I heard nothing from anybody about it. It wasn't until 30 years later I went into the clinic and I met the Staff Sergeant Cook for support company, which I was in with Morris. He was in the clinic and I asked him, I said, do you know what happened to this fella, this Captain Peck? And he said, yeah. He said, the CO heard about what happened and he gave him the flick. He said, just give him a real good rev and told him that, it was a silly thing to do. I mean, we were there looking out, and as I said, I had the pistol there in case somebody come up behind me, because the enemy could get between inside the lines and come up behind you. And as I said, with only the M60 there, the machine gun is too heavy to swing around at someone that close. But he's very lucky, because had I known that he was there when he was about a foot or 2 foot away, I would have shot him point blank with the pistol. I'd have been sorry after. I mean, you don't want to shoot your own man, but it was a stupid thing for him to do, to sneak up on me like that. Anyway, that's the story, and I'll just leave it at that. As I said, I don't remember the punch-up after. I remember giving him a pretty good choke in the pit, but that was it. Okay.